Well, good afternoon. Good afternoon and welcome to another Webinar Wednesday hosted by the California State University Bakersfield Small Business Development Center. Good afternoon again. I'm Kelly Bearden. I'm the director of the CSUB SBDC. And we go back to our webinar series. It's over last week, 135 consecutive live Wednesdays of managing your small business beyond the pandemic. The pandemic is over as far as Webinar Wednesday is concerned. Now, that doesn't mean that we won't bring you programs that are still lingering from the pandemic. And it doesn't mean that we won't bring news of other programs that are somewhat related. So we will still continue to do that, but we're moving on with some great programs, some great guests coming up starting today. We have our special guest, Megan Hodapp from the IBank, the California Infrastructure Economic Development Bank, and also our guest, Cindy Merzon. Cindy's going to jump in and tell us about the DreamWorks program or the Dream Fund program. What's up for today? We have a preview of today. Our preview, October 19th, 2022. We're actually celebrating our 250th webinar. Now, it wasn't cake worthy. I didn't whip out our Webinar Wednesday birthday cake. We'll be celebrating our 10th birthday in January, and we're saving it for then. But we are celebrating 250 webinars today, going back to January of 2013. So number 250 rolls out today. And we're going to be rolling in a few moments. We're going to be rolling in Cindy Merzon to talk about the Dream Fund and get that update on what's going on with this fantastic program that's coming through the state of California, rolled out by your Central California SBDC, and Cindy will be along shortly to discuss that. We're also going to have a look at some of the great loan programs and a new venture capital offering from the IBank. Yes, new programs that are rolling through the U.S. Federal Treasury here locally to the tune of about $1 billion, and we're really excited to get an update on those particular programs. Each week now with Webinar Wednesday, we will look at key business news week. We'll look at key business news. We'll get a weekly update on that, and we'll look at some of the key things that you might not be noticing, but we are, and it might be affecting your small business. We'll take a look at Webinar Wednesday moving forward. And moving forward, we're going to continue mostly on a weekly basis. We're still a weekly basis for now, but that is subject to change sometime in the future. But we are going to really be valuing your input, and we'll talk a little bit about that. As always, your questions, if you have a question on the Dream Fund, please submit those while Cindy is presenting, and we'll ask Cindy to stick around and answer those questions. And if it's going to be on the loan programs and venture capital offerings from the IBank, we'll add those as soon as Megan completes her presentation. So as always, your questions and a poll. So let's start with our poll for today. And moving on with Webinar Wednesday, we're looking at some of the global news that might affect you, might affect your business, might affect your personal life. And so we'll just ask a simple question, basically dealing with chips and superconductors. And the question is going to be a little simple question, pop quiz type. Where are most advanced semiconductors or chips manufactured? Is that the US? Is it Taiwan? Is it in China? Or is it the EU, the European Union? So 4 choices is where are these chips, the most advanced chips? And I will give you a hint right now. It is over 90% of the chips come from this country. So we do have 61% of you participating. Jump in. Let's get this first question out. Obviously, chips are a huge factor in what's going on in our economy. We're seeing that with new car sales, new car purchases. A lot of other industries where there's been shortages throughout the previous pandemic. So we're going to end the poll with 73% of you in and share those results with you. And 52% of you are correct. The country of Taiwan produces over 90% of the semiconductors in the world. 48% of you thought China, but No US, no EU. All of it is based right over there. So thank you for participating and congratulations. Our second poll question of the day was a little bit brighter news, because some of the world strife going on with over in China and Taiwan, and hopefully everything stays good there, but it shows the need. But let's talk about something a little more positive, and that would be who is getting $85 million. Yes, an $85 million donation, the largest ever was received by this organization. Was it the Red Cross? Was it the Girl Scouts of America? Was it the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame? So the gift comes from Mackenzie Scott, who is the ex-wife of Jeff Bezos, obviously the founder of Amazon, and is donating a significant portion of her wealth. And this latest gift that she is giving, $85 million. It's this organization's largest gift ever, 85 million. That's what we like to say, 85 big ones. Okay, 66% of you in. Let's go ahead and give you one last second to get in and in the poll and share the results with you. And 59% of you say the Red Cross, 37% the Girl Scouts of America, and thank you somebody for putting in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, which is not correct. But the correct answer is the Girl Scouts of America. Yeah, a little bit of a tricky question pulled by the old poll master this week with the devastation of Hurricane Ian. It very well could have been the Red Cross, but 37% of you were correct in guessing the Girl Scouts of America. So thank you for participating in our polls this week, and we will move right along. So the key news for small business owners, it's kind of going to be the new topic of what we kind of hit on. And right now, most economists are now forecasting a recession, which is kind of a change, and higher interest rates. So how does that affect us as small business owners and even individuals for that matter? Well, many of us might have some form of variable loans, and those variable loans are going to forecast higher. With most economists now forecasting a recession also comes with job cuts. And we saw a significant number of larger companies announce job cuts, including Microsoft. So job cuts that are usually familiar with a recession, but because of the hiring woes our small businesses had and some of the higher rates that kind of come with that as far as interest rates, we're starting to look and starting to see maybe potentially in 2023, in the later half of the year, those are going to start dropping. So if you're forecasting your cash flow for your business and you're trying to estimate what your interest payments are going to be with those variable loans, or if you can afford an expansion in a recession, those are the things that you're going to want to look at. Those are the reasons that those are key news for small business owners. You know, another thing that was kind of interesting was P&G, Procter & Gamble, is now enlisting celebrities to explain the benefits of their pricier brands. Yes, inflation is hitting P&G. So when they have a product, let's say like a Tide detergent and a Tide laundry soap, what they're looking to do is now explain the benefits over maybe a generic brand or a less expensive brand, which they usually are. And they're now starting to enlist celebrities. Now, a lot of us small business owners aren't going to be enlisting celebrities to plug our products, but it kind of shows you to the extent that larger corporations are going through to explain the benefits of their particular products to individuals. So there's a lesson in there somewhere. And then also sticking with that kind of explaining that benefits is survey your customers and clients, and we'll have a little bit more on that later. Okay, let's bring in Cindy Merzon, and Cindy is going to give us an update on the Dream Fund. She was here in the middle of the summertime when the Dream Fund program was taking off. And Cindy, if you want to go ahead and share your screen and take it away, you have a couple of slides and go from there. One of the things that Cindy has really been instrumental in bringing the California Dream Fund to the Central California region. She's done a fantastic job, her and her center, in providing the rest of us in our region a great resource and a great funding. A big lift. Thank you, Cindy, for doing that, and take it away on your update.
Thanks, Kelly, for having me here a second time. It has been a great honor to lead this effort for the Central California SBDC network. And so today I'm just going to give you a quick update of what's happening so far. If those of you watching have not heard anything about the California Dream Fund, I'll give you a little snippet about what it's for and see if you might have some interest. The California Dream Fund is a one-time grant program where new entrepreneurs and small business owners can complete an intensive training program through select participating centers. And the Central California SBDC network is a participating center in this program. So you see a link on the screen if you want to learn more from the state's perspective as to why they set aside $35 million in grant funds to seed entrepreneurship and small business creation. You can check out their thoughts there. And then essentially what's available is up to $10,000 in microgrants for businesses who complete the training and the consulting program that we're offering. And they'll be eligible to apply once they've completed that and completed some other eligibility requirements. If you want to check out all those details, you can go to californiadreamfund.com and see absolutely everything that Lindustry, who is the grant processor for the state, will be asking for submission of. It talks about eligibility, it talks about ineligibility, it talks about use of funds, and you can find all of that information in about 19 different languages. So that's a really great resource site if you want to learn a little bit more about the California Dream Fund. And I'm going to tell you a little bit about where we are. So we're still accepting registration for the final open cohort, the training that begins on October the 26th and runs through November the 30th. Essentially, the training is you complete the curriculum and one-on-one counseling by our network. It is 6 weekly classes, a total of 18 hours of class and homework combined over that 6-week period. At the end of the class, you establish a legal business entity if it wasn't already established after July 1st, 2019. So anybody who had started their business can start it. If they started it before July 1st, 2019, they wouldn't be eligible. But if they started it July 2nd, 2019, up through completion of the training, they would be eligible to apply. They have to demonstrate that they have met the definition of a new business start. And essentially what that means is that they have acquired all of the necessary permits, licenses, certifications that are required to legally operate in California and in the municipality where you're located, whether it's a city or a county. And if you've done that, you have to have one additional thing to prove that you are legally in business, either made a first sale, spent money on business expenses, obtained capital for your business, hired at least one employee that's a W-2 employee, created a business banking relationship. The preferred qualifying events are the ones with the asterisks, made a first sale or spent money on your business expenses. And to be considered a small business in California, you've got to have less than 5 FTEs of employees and less than $1 million in receipts. So all of that would sort of say, okay, if you fit that, you would be eligible to apply for the grant at the end of the training program. It's important to note that each business that applies for that grant, they must agree to report on the progress of their business to the center where they received their training for at least 1 year or until after the business is no longer operating. So that's kind of, in a nutshell, the California Dream Fund grant program. So I'm going to tell you a little bit about what's coming up. So the Central California results to date, as of this week, we have completed 6 cohorts of students. So that means 6 groups of students have gone through the 6-week classes, meaning that we have 72 students that completed all of the training requirements needed to apply for the grant. Not everybody that started the training completed the training. So we had hoped they all would, some dropped. And of those 72 students that completed all of the training requirements, 24 have actually applied for the grant. Some of them started the training program and didn't have a business started yet. So they learned how to start a business in the 6 weeks of training, and then they've been building all of the necessary tools, getting the permits, licenses, setting up their business bank account, etc., to be able to launch it. So they have to have it launched before they apply for the grant. So 24 have applied for the grant, 7 have received a grant, 17 applications are still under review by Lindustry, and no applications have been denied to date. So our goal is that everybody that completes the training and we help them get all of their documents ready for the application process. If we've done a good job in working with our students, then nobody should be denied a grant unless we've run out of money. So that's what's really important for you to understand now in terms of what's coming up. We have 3 more cohorts starting. That one start yesterday. And that obviously the class is full and isn't available for new students. We have another cohort starting next Tuesday, October the 25th. That class is also full. And finally, we have a 3rd class starting on October the 26th. That will be Wednesdays from 3 to 4:30, and there are limited spaces available. So if you think this program is something you're interested in doing to learn how to launch a new business and then be able to get that carrot of a grant at the end, please apply now. The deadline to apply for a grant, so that means you will have had to complete the training and launched your business, is December the 31st, 2022. Now, we've applied for an extension of that application process to early 2023, but we don't have approval yet. So right now we're banking on the December 31st. So if you think this is for you, watch the on-demand video that you can find at the link. Let's get my cursor going. This link, watch the on-demand video here. If you are pretty sure you want to do it either before or after you've watched the on-demand video, register to participate, and do that by registering to become a client of the Central California SBDC network. And you can do that at centralcaliforniasbdc.com. Get started, choose the center that's closest to you, and go in and register for services. We'd love to have you join our classes, and we would love to help you launch your business. Okay, Kelly.
Fantastic stuff, Cindy. Hey, we have one question in here for you. Will you offer classes after 5 o'clock at some point? Unfortunately, the person has to work till 4:30.
Okay, so we are not offering classes after 5 o'clock, but the really great news for you is you do not have to attend the classes live. You can either watch the classes live when we broadcast them, or you can watch them all on demand. So we make all of those videos available, and we communicate using Google Classroom. So you're able to communicate with the instructor with your questions, and you can communicate with your consultant if you have questions as well. So you shouldn't be hindered from participating by not being available during the time the live classes are offered.
Fantastic. So also you will find in the chat a couple of links that Cindy mentioned. One is for the eligibility and application requirements, and another link to go to the actual funding site at looks like the Office of the Small Business Advocate. So looks like the links are in there, and we will add the link for the particularly where you can watch the on demand. I know Maureen is working feverishly behind the scenes to put that link in there as well. Cindy, thanks so much for all you've done.
You're welcome. I see there is a question in the Q&A about this if you'd like for me to answer it.
Oh, absolutely.
Okay, so Gladys is saying that she completed the training with the Women's Business Center, but she still needs to complete 2 one-on-one consultations to apply for the grant, and she's been having trouble scheduling those with the workforce with the Women's Business Center. Can she complete these with our program and submit the application? And the answer is no. Your training and consulting needs to be done with the same organization for which you're applying for the grant.
Yeah, I'm sorry you're having those problems.
Sorry.
Okay, great. Thank you so much. And let's move along.
Okay.
So as I take back control of the screen like I'm known to do,
I will release it to you.
I will take it. Thank you so much, Cindy. So moving along, and if you want to go to our YouTube channel, the CSUB SBDC YouTube, you will see We have a number of resources. Last week's COVID idle resources, that was very beneficial. Cybersecurity. You'll see Cindy's last appearance on the Webinar Wednesday program on June 8th, and some other resources. And that's at CSUB, SBDC. Look at this thing go. SBDC, that is our YouTube page. So feel free to jump in there and browse the nearly 200 videos on there. So we do want your input, though. We do want your input. We want your survey. We're going to be sending out a survey after this. As we transition and we're at a crossroads of Webinar Wednesday, we want to know what you want on Webinar Wednesday. So not only topics and speakers and presentations, I'm sure you want more of somebody else and less than me, and I'm working on that, as you can tell, very, very diligently. I've got my slides down to 10 because, like a pitch deck, if you're pitching for money, if you can't say it in 10 slides, you know, I guess you can't say it. Okay, so we'll be looking for that survey, and we will be getting that out to you soon. So it's with great pleasure I reintroduce Megan Hodapp, and Megan was with us probably about a year and a half ago during the pandemic. Unfortunately, she was unable to travel last week or the week before to our Eastern Sierra Capital Summit, but she's the manager of the Small Business Finance Center at the California Infrastructure and Economic Bank, also known as the IBank. She served as a loan officer in the Small Business Finance Center for 3 years, assisted many businesses with accessing capital, has served small businesses in a variety of jobs and programs throughout her career. She was a program analyst with the Office of the Small Business Advocate, and also certain positions in GoBiz and CalCap with the California Capital Access Program. Graduate from Cal State Sacramento, bachelor's degree in science degree in criminal justice. So, Megan, it's great to have you join us. Take the screen away, share away, and thank you for joining us. And looking forward to hearing what's going on with the IBank and the new programs.
Thank you, Kelly. It's a pleasure to be back. I noticed you didn't mention my affinity for Highland cows, but I have that as well.
Scottish Highlands, I believe they're referred
Yep,
to.
Scottish Highland cows. I have a few of them.
And I've been asking about those for you. People tell me they taste great.
I don't think I could eat one, but I would love to have one as a pet. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and get started. I'm going to share my screen and my slide deck. This thing's always in the way. All right, does that look full screen to you and not in the presentation mode?
Looks perfect.
It looks good?
Yes.
Okay, just checking. I have a history of sharing the wrong thing, so I just want to make sure you guys can see what I want you to see. So once again, my name is Megan Hodapp. I am the manager of the Small Business Finance Center here at IBank, and I'm going to tell you a little bit about IBank, the programs that we offer in the Small Business Finance Center, and give a little update on SSBCI. Okay. The California Infrastructure and Economic Development Bank, also known as IBank, was created in 1994. IBank has broad statutory authority to issue tax-exempt and taxable revenue bonds, provide loans to state and local governments, and nonprofits for public infrastructure and economic development projects, and also loan guarantees to help small businesses. IBank's current programs include the Infrastructure State Revolving Fund Program, bond financing program, including 501c3 bonds, industrial development bonds, exempt facility bonds, and public agency revenue bonds, as well as the Small Business Finance Center. In addition, IBank created the California Lending for Energy and Environmental Needs, or the CLEAN Center, and the Climate Catalyst Fund to help meet the state's greenhouse gas reduction goals. The Small Business Loan Guarantee Program received seed money in 1968 to help reduce unemployment by supporting entrepreneurship and small businesses. Through Governor Jerry Brown's reorganization plan in 2013, the program was transferred to the Governor's Office of Business and Economic Development, or GoBiz. The Small Business Financial Assistance Act of 2013 placed the Small Business Loan Guarantee Program under IBank and renamed it the Small Business Finance Center to more accurately represent its many functions. This is where it remains today as a vital resource in removing barriers for small business owners and helping turn dreams into reality. My dog is whining in the background, so I apologize. Since then, the Small Business Finance Center has been promoting statewide economic development by increasing opportunities for entrepreneurs, people who are self-employed, and small business owners by ensuring access to capital and other technical resources. The Small Business Finance Center provides credit enhancements in the form of loan guarantees, both traditional loan guarantees and disaster relief loan guarantees. Direct loans to farmers, direct loans to low wealth entrepreneurs in low wealth communities, and technical assistance. Because of the Small Business Finance Center program, small business owners can secure financing that allows them to grow and sustain their businesses. Change my slide. Okay. The Small Business Loan Guarantee Program incentivizes lenders to make loans to small businesses, offering guarantees of up to 80% of eligible loan amounts. The loans can be up to $20 million with a maximum guarantee amount of $5 million. The maximum guarantee term on these is 7 years. The Disaster Relief Loan Guarantee Program was created to help businesses recover from a declared disaster in the state. The loan guarantees provided by that program help mitigate barriers to capital for businesses that have suffered either an economic injury or a physical injury from a disaster. The maximum disaster loan amount is $1.25 million, and they can be guaranteed up to 95% of the loan or a $1 million maximum, which is less. The loan guarantee percentage is determined by the interest rate on the loan fees. The maximum guarantee term is 7 years. I'm going to pause really quick and mute myself to go make my dog quiet. Hold on 1 second. I apologize. The joys of working from home. In April 2020, IBank received a $50 million general fund allocation to target small businesses needing help to overcome economic injuries caused by COVID-19. Loan proceeds for the COVID-19 microloan guarantee fund must be used for business continuance and to cure a significant economic injury as a result of the COVID-19 pandemic. The maximum COVID-19 loan amount is $200,000, and they can be guaranteed up to 95% of the loan. The guarantee percentage in this program is also determined by the interest rate on the loan. In any of the guarantee programs, if a borrower defaults on the loan, the lender then liquidates the collateral and files a claim for the guaranteed percentage of the remaining balance of the loan. This process allows lenders to mitigate risk when making small business loans, and as a result, allows small businesses to secure financing for the growth and expansion of their business. These are some program results from fiscal year 2021 in each of the programs. So in the traditional small business loan guarantee program, we guaranteed 363 loans for over 163 million in loans, which was 111 million in guarantees. 9,866 jobs were created or retained as a result of these loans. For the traditional disaster relief loan guarantee program, 23 disaster loans totaling 7.9 million with 7.3 million in guarantees, 1,375 jobs created or retained. And then the COVID-19 microloan program, 1,592 loans were guaranteed for 69.8 million in loans or 66.2 million in guarantees. The interesting thing about the COVID-19 microloan program is the average size of the loan in this program was about $45,000, and 86% of these loans go to women, minority, or LMI owned businesses. The Small Business Finance Center programs are facilitated by 7 financial development corporations, which we call FDCs. The FDCs were created in the California Corporations Code to help the Small Business Finance Center administer its programs throughout the state. Each FDC is a nonprofit corporation with general responsibilities for marketing and administering the SBFC programs. As mission-based organizations, the FDC support small businesses and stimulate economic growth in underserved communities. While each FDC is unique, as a group, they utilize a combination of federal, state, local, and private resources. They are highly rated by their partners and provide non-conventional community development financing in low to moderate income areas, including agricultural loans to small tenant farmers in rural areas. Not only are the FDCs experts in their own field, many of them are also lenders and administer other programs for governmental and financial partners. Beyond facilitating loan programs and technical assistance, FDCs leverage local and statewide partnerships to ensure small businesses have access to the resources that they need. FDC staff members are also active economic development participants in their communities. They speak a wide variety of languages, and many of them are actually small business owners themselves. They donate their time to leadership positions on boards, loan committees, audit committees for local chambers, community organizations, and economic development groups. The staff members come from a wide range of backgrounds and are representative of the communities in which they're located. The Federal American Rescue Plan Act of 2021 included $10 billion reauthorization of the Federal State Small Business Credit Initiative, or SSBCI, which was initially created in 2010 to strengthen state programs that support financing for small businesses. California officially signed its allocation agreement with U.S. Treasury and has launched most of its SSBCI 2.0 programs. We will receive approximately $1.2 billion split between two departments, IBank and the California Pollution Control Financing Authority. The funding will come in 3 tranches over the course of the program. California currently has 3 existing programs: the Small Business Loan Guarantee Program, the California Capital Access Program, and the Collateral Support Program, which the last 2 are both housed at the State Treasurer's Office. IBank is also in the process of developing a venture capital program for SSBCI 2.0. We are currently selecting an outside advisor for venture capital, and the program will invest primarily in venture funds and is expected to be up and running by the end of the year. For the other programs, we've already started enrolling loans in SSBCI. Like I said, we received our first tranche, and the Small Business Loan Guarantee portion of that is active and running. So that is the end of my presentation. A couple of things to note on here. If you're interested in information on just SSBCI in general, you would reach out to ssbci@ibank.ca.gov. And if you have questions about the venture capital program, it would be vc@ibank.ca.gov. Also, ibank.ca.gov is the website, and there's a ton of information on there about all of the different programs that we offer. And I encourage you to check that out. And thank you.
Well, great. Really looking forward to seeing details on that venture capital. So it sounds like it sounds like you have an outside advisor now for the venture capital funds, of which I believe there's $200 million, and that's the new program, the exciting program.
Mm-hmm.
So, and you have an outside advisor working on that now, I think I heard correctly?
We're in the process of selecting an outside advisor. We had hired a consultant to help with the development of the program, and they just completed an RFQ for an outside advisor for the venture capital program.
An RFQ is a request for qualification, so you want to get somebody qualified.
Yeah.
And so it's been in reading, because we've been talking about this wonderful acronym, the SSBCI, for months. As this money comes out of the U.S. Treasury and into the California Treasury and into our local small businesses. So the venture capital component to it has always been kind of the questionable one, because the other loan programs have been available, at least in the past.
Mm-hmm.
So if it's invest in venture funds. I believe it's designed to invest mostly, at least from what I've read, in underserved venture funds.
Correct.
So those that are funded by people of color, rural veterans, women, etc.
Correct.
Okay, so it would actually be those that are establishing funds, and the IBank would then make a contribution to those particular entities that would then pretty much give out the money.
Yes,
Okay.
that is
Yeah.
exactly how I understand it at a high level.
Okay, and so when more information is available, it would probably be for individuals that are looking for that pool of money. It would be great to contact the VC at ibank.ca.gov.
Yes, and on our website, at ibank.ca.gov, there is a sign up for a newsletter or for more information. And if you sign up for that, it'll put you on whichever newsletter you select. And then you will get emails from IBank, either updating you on the status of the venture capital program, any news for the loan guarantee program, kind of depending on which programs you're interested in.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Well, that's a lot of money going to the loan guarantee program, and people, you can jump in and ask questions. I don't want to hog the question and answer. It's just that, I had questions and got answers. So with that, with the loan guarantee program, we saw that you listed the 7 financial development corporations.
Correct.
And
You can go back to that page.
there we are. And probably the nearest one to us here in Kern County would be the one in Fresno.
Yes, Valley Small
It
Business.
doesn't list it, it's not listed as one of the areas that it serves. So how
All
exactly
of the FDCs serve the entire state. They are not geographically restricted. The locations on here are kind of satellite locations or primary service areas based on where they are actually located, but there aren't restrictions on who they can serve. So technically the closest to you would be Valley Small Business Development Corporation, but you could connect with any of the 7.
Wow, that's great. And
Yeah.
and Cindy's connected with the Coastal
Okay.
Rural Development Corporation.
Yeah, either one of those are kind of handle primarily the Central Valley, but like I said, it's not restricted. So actually all of the FDCs have some touch there.
So with these tranches, and when I hear the word tranches and cohorts together, I just shudder to think what would happen if cohorts ever got together with tranches. I digress. With the money that's coming available, what are some of the things that we should expect with this new influx of money, and a significant amount of money? Are there going to be loans to maybe CDFIs, community development financial institutions, that'll make loans to maybe less bankable individuals?
We have not really delved into lending to CDFIs for them to in turn turn around and lend. It may be something eventually we get into. Essentially what the first tranche is doing, and the continual tranches, is just allowing us to continue what we are already doing, and giving us more access to providing loan guarantees. The money goes into, the way that our program works, we leverage a trust fund. So that money goes into the trust fund, and we leverage each loan guarantee off of that trust fund. So that then if the loan is to default, the default payment comes out of that trust fund as well. So it just allows us to increase the volume of loan guarantees that we're doing. It also, we increased the guarantee maximum. Historically, it's been 2.5 million. At one point in 2019, it even dropped down to 1 million because there was a risk of us being over leveraged. So we actually were able to bump that guarantee maximum up to 5 million now.
That's a big guarantee. So
yeah.
I think it's important for our attendees to note that a guarantee. So you don't make the direct loan yourself. What you do is you provide a guarantee to a number of lenders. So where would someone find those particular lenders? Are they on your website?
On our website, I can actually pull it up.
Yeah, let's see these lenders.
We
so
just revamped
the same lending process as, like, say, an SBA loan, except it's through the state of California rather than the federal government. And the guarantee loan is you get the bank to allow you to actually, they want to invest in you and your business. And so they will make a loan to you, and then you provide the guarantee, which provides them incentive to do that particular loan.
So on our website, when you first go to ibank.ca.gov, this banner that comes up is actually a link to view our participating lenders. That's not permanent, so I'll show you how to actually access it otherwise. If you hover over small business, it brings up all of the links related to small business with IBank.
I think we're still on the PowerPoint, and I think you're on the web. So maybe a reshare.
Oh, it's not showing you the.
We're showing the financial, we're seeing the financial development corporations from slide 6.
How about now?
Perfect.
I told you I'm always sharing the wrong thing. So thank you for checking me. So you go to ibank.ca.gov. This is the banner I was talking about. It currently has an option to view participating lenders, but like I said, that's not permanent. So the way you would access it typically is hover over small business. And this comes up with links to all of the different programs, all of the information needed. There's venture capital, SSBCI, disaster relief, loan guarantees, farm loans, but here participating lenders, you click on that, it'll bring up at the top of here is that same list of the 7 FDCs that you saw in the presentation. And then right here, view list of participating lenders. And then this provides a little blurb about how to access the different lenders and who you would reach out to. And then these are the 7 FDCs, contact information, phone number, and website. And then further down, these are the list of lenders that are certified to participate in the program. We recently added a primary service area to try and help borrowers narrow down the list. So not all of them have that. That's something that started new this year, but going forward, it will have that. This is something that's updated regularly for us, but it has contact information. So essentially the top of here says, if there's a lender that you recognize on the list, feel free to reach out to them directly. If not, you can reach out to an FDC and they can connect you to a lender. So the list is pretty extensive. There's about over 130 lenders on here.
That's great. And, you know, since I like to challenge Maureen and keep her on her toes, Maureen, can you please add that to the chat if you can do that? Because I think it's really important that people find the right lender. And I think that what we find too often at the SBDC is people go to the wrong lender.
Correct.
Sometimes they go to the wrong technical service provider, but they go to the wrong lender. And then what happens is that they are turned down, and where they might have a successful project, if they find the right lender, they sometimes give up before they get to that lender. So, so I think that that's a very valuable tool, having those particular lenders. Now, I don't expect you to be able to answer this question, but also you had mentioned, and you used to work at the California Pollution Control Financing Authority,
Correct.
Which also has funds through the SSBCI program.
Correct.
And I imagine they also have a source where you can go and find the lenders that are approved on their particular website.
Correct. They have a lender list too on their own website. Do you want me to pull that up?
I think it would be interesting if you can do that real quick. I like throwing challenges out there. So
it's under CPCFA at the state treasurer. And then the California Capital Access Program here is what you'll click on. And then they have CalCap participating financial institution lenders. Nope, that was not the right thing.
Did you ever, when you were at that organization, did you do any work with their collateral lending program?
I did. That was actually the program I was in charge of.
Can you just, I learned so much about it at our Capital Summit in Bishop, but I think it's a program that is underappreciated and underutilized. And with collateral sometimes being the only barrier for small businesses to access funding, access that capital that they need, I think it's a very valuable program. So maybe, even though I continue to challenge you to do things that you don't do on a regular basis, could you give us just a quick recap on the collateral program?
It has been a long time since I've worked in it. It's been about 7 years since I left there.
Last week.
But essentially, so there's 3 different mechanisms at the state for credit enhancement programs. There is the Small Business Loan Guarantee Program, where we provide up to an 80% guarantee on the bank loan, we leverage a trust fund, as I mentioned. Then there is the California Capital Access Program, or CalCap, which is at the Treasurer's Office, and Collateral Support Program, which is also at the Treasurer's Office. The CalCap program is a loan loss reserve program. So each lender has their own account, and a certain percentage of like a fee on each loan is deposited into the account by both the lender and CalCap. And then the lender can then file a claim and be repaid out up to 100%, I believe, on a loan. There isn't a guarantee percentage. It's based on the amount of their loan loss reserve account. So for that program, typically lenders will enroll every loan that they do in this program. It's popular with CDFIs who are making small loans, and then they will just enroll everything in this program so that their loans are all covered should the borrower default. With the collateral support program, it is actually a cash deposit held at the financial institution against the loan to provide collateral on a loan that there is a collateral shortfall for. I don't know exact percentages and everything now, because I think that has changed over time, but that's the general synopsis of it. The Treasurer's Office makes a deposit into an account held at that financial institution that's used as collateral against that loan.
So most business loans require some form of almost like full collateral. I get a $100,000 loan. I need to pledge $100,000 in assets. And that's where that program would come in. If I only had $50,000 in assets to pledge, maybe that additional $50,000 then could be through that particular program, which would allow me to leverage the other lending program and maybe access capital. Is that how you saw it work?
I'm sorry, can you repeat that again?
How you saw it work when you were there? Just kind of like, being that shortage for collateral purposes.
Yes, correct. That's how the collateral support program worked. It provides coverage on a collateral shortfall. Those loans are typically, because each individual loan is enrolled, it's not the same type of thing where, like for the loan loss reserve program, the lenders enroll like an entire portfolio of loans, and the more loans that they enroll, the higher their balances in their loan loss reserve account, and the more loans they can cover should they go bad. The collateral support program is closer to what we do at IBank in that it supports each individual loan.
Sounds complicated.
A little bit.
Well,
it's not once you get into it, but like I said, it's been a few years since I've been in the Treasurer's Office.
The big news is there's $1.18 billion for California small businesses that have come through this.
Correct.
And it's really exciting to see how this starts rolling out and gets out there to needy small businesses that need it. And there's the CalCap program.
I found it. So this is the CalCap lender list. There is a lot of overlap. A lot of the lenders use both programs. Depending on what the situation is with each loan, they choose where to enroll it. There's also a collateral support lender list. Participating lenders. So this is the collateral support lender list as well.
Great.
Do you want me to put these links in the chat?
If you don't mind. It's probably easier for you, and I can just, for more information on their particular programs through the California Pollution Control Financing Authority, you can go to our YouTube channel, CSUB SBDC, and go to the Eastern Sierra Capital Summit from earlier this month on the 7th. And we had a fine presentation from Allison French-Tubo from that organization on those programs. So there's a lot of information, a lot of programs, and a lot of information. And let's jump in and see what questions other people have rather than my silly questions. First question is, are there any funds or grants done through the IBank or only loans and venture capital?
We do not do any grant funding. Everything that we do is loan guarantees, or like I said, we do a farm loan program. And this might be a better question if Allison was here, but I'm going to throw it at you. So as diesel trucks in California are being phased out for EV trucks,
What loan program will offer small business owners financing for EV trucks?
CalCap, they do still have it. I just looked on the website, as you can see. CalCap has a program in conjunction with ARB to help business owners meet the regulations with loans, basically, to change their trucks over. There's information on the CalCap website. Also, we often see a lot of loans coming through our program that are truck loans. They're eligible for the program. There's no reason why they wouldn't be eligible. So the business owner would just go to, I know there's a couple of CDFIs that do loans for trucks. So they would just go to the lender, and the lender would give them a loan and then enroll it in our program for the 80% guarantee. We do not have a specific set aside program for that. CalCap does, though.
And CalCap is an acronym for the California Capital Access Program.
I'll put this in this page in the chat too.
Okay, well, we got a pretty full chat today. Let's go to the chat one last time. We started out with some accolades for Cindy Merzon, and then had a few questions about the Dream Fund program, and moved through that particular program, and talked about some other things that are unique. We got Megan's contact information, and also the email addresses to get on those mailing lists for the venture capital program through IBank, and also the state small business credit initiative program. General questions about the state guarantee program, that link is in there. You'll go grab that particular link. The treasurers for the California Pollution Control Authority. Thank you, Megan, for dropping that in. Participating lenders, and also some of the other institutions for CalCap. I think that, oh, we got one more new one down here. And also the Treasurer's Office for CalCap. So I think that's it. Any final words of wisdom to people looking for capital, Meg?
Like I said, I would just access the participating lenders list, reach out to a financial development corporation, and go from there. As we have found, typically the CDFIs and smaller community banks are the ones who are more likely to lend to small businesses and to help them. And that's who the FDCs can connect you with.
Fantastic. Hey, we're back next week, but I'm not. Next week, we will have our special guest host. Bryce, that's the wrong slide. That's the right slide. Yeah. Webinar number 251 will be back next week, and it's going to be all about real estate, leasing and purchasing commercial real estate. Our special guest host, Keith Bryce, will sit in for me as I go welcome another Bearden on this world. And that'll be webinar number 251 next week. Thank you so much, Cindy Merzon, for joining us and giving us information on the Dream Fund. Thank you again, Megan Hodapp. Thank you both so much. And we will be back next week, everybody. We'll see you then. Goodbye, everybody.